Ian Blackford has sparked furious outrage on social media after failing to ask a single question on Scotland during Prime Minister's questions. The SNP's Westminster leader suffered a brutal backlash after he opted to grill Prime Minister Boris Johnson on aid to war-torn Yemen. Ian Blackford's questioned the UK government's decision to cut support for the country, which is in the midst of a long-running civil war. However, Mr. Blackford's line of questioning was met with astonishment on social media, with users questioning why pressing Scottish issues had not been made a priority. One PMQ's viewer wrote on social media, "Ian Blackford banging in about Yemen today. Not a single word about the pandemic, the poor Scots, independence blah blah," following on from Keir Starmer banging on about Yemen. "Is it coordinated deflection day?" they asked. Elsewhere another wrote, "Begging Bowl Blackford pontificating about Yemen when all hell is breaking loose in Scotland." Mr. Blackford's clash with the Prime Minister came shortly after the Labour leader Keir Starmer also quizzed over moves to slash aid contributions to war-torn Yemen. The exchanges led another social media user to write, "How out of touch is Keir Starmer and Ian Blackford with the electorate? The UK has given Yemen £1 billion over the last 5 years. Highest in the G7. These two want even more money sending to Yemen. Can someone who agrees with them please explain to me why?" While another person commented, "Ian Blackford and Keir Starmer more interested in Yemen when COVID has crippled hundreds of thousands in our country. The UK has pledged at least £87 million in aid, down from a promise of £160 million in 2020 and £200 million in 2019. It has triggered warnings from MPs. The decision will put lives at risk and leave hundreds of thousands of Yemeni children to starve. It follows a temporary reduction in UK aid from 0.7% to 0.5% of national income," Ian Blackford said. "The situation in Yemen has been called the world's worst humanitarian crisis. 100,000 people have been killed, 16.2 million are at risk of starvation. 2.3 million children are at death's door facing acute malnutrition. The UK government's response isn't one of compassion, instead it is to impose cuts. That is what you're doing, Prime Minister. A 50% cut to international aid to Yemen, a move that the UN chief has described as a death sentence." He added, "Since the start of the war, the Tories have shamefully backed the Saudi regime with billions of pounds in arms sales and support, despite evidence of war crimes. Will the Prime Minister confirm that today's budget will force through these devastating cuts to international aid?"